Thank you for watching this edition of Topics in Southern Mongolian Human Rights. It has been over 6 months since Hada finished his 15-year prison sentence for advocating human rights for the people of southern Inner Mongolia. Still, Hada and his wife and son remain confined by the Chinese government authorities. None of them have committed a crime recognized by any Western democracy, so please take the time to write and tell your elected representative about this travesty of justice. Another topic of concern is the brutal murder of Mr. Mergen on May 10, 2011. After months of contacting and petitioning different levels of government officials without any resolution, some herders in southern Mongolia organized themselves to resist the further destruction of the grasslands by Chinese coal haulers. According to a Southern Mongolian blogger, in order to take a shortcut, these coal hauling trucks have randomly run over local herders' grazing lands, not only killing numerous heads of livestock, but also further damaging the already weakened fragile grassland. Observers say that on May 10th, after a day-long confrontation between 40 herders and hundreds of coal haulers, Mr. Mergen, while attempting to stop the trucks from running through his land and livestock, was struck by one of the 100-ton coal trucks, and his body was dragged for 150 meters. Subsequent trucks continued to strike Mr. Mergen. The driver of the truck that struck Mr. Mergen was reported to have been arrogant, extremely rude, and hateful, and was quoted as saying, "My truck is fully insured, and the life of a smelly Mongolian herder cost me no more than 40,000 yuan, which is approximately $8,000. After the incident, 2 truck drivers were taken into custody, and government authorities attempted to calm the situation by offering a large cash settlement to the Mergen's family. The bribe-like handling of the case did not calm the situation, and only further angered the Mongolian herders. As shown in these pictures and the video, hundreds of Mongolian herders took to the streets to protest against the brutal murder of Mr. Mergen on the 23rd of May 2011. Additionally, another demonstration was held on the 25th of May, and here are some pictures from that demonstration. The continued imprisonment of Hada and the fabricated charges against his wife and son demonstrate that there is no rule of law under the rule of the Chinese Communist Party. Hada refuses to kowtow to the Chinese authorities, and they keep him in jail. Further evidence of a corrupt system bent on the eradication of the identity of minority peoples in the People's Republic of China is clearly demonstrated by the circumstances surrounding the Mongolian herders and the death of Mr. Mergen. Rather than listen to the legitimate claims of the Mongolian herders regarding the unlawful actions taken against them by the Chinese coal haulers, the herders are left to fend for themselves. Their entire livelihood is endangered by the indiscriminate slaughter of their livestock and the destruction of the grasslands when the 100-ton coal trucks take shortcuts rather than use established roadways. Furthermore, instead of standing with the Mongolian herders, the Chinese government authorities were remarkably absent during a standoff that lasted for an entire day. Were the authorities willing to stand with the herders, it is quite possible that Mr. Mergen would be alive today. Were the authorities willing to settle the dispute a few months ago, there would be no death and no demonstrations. The Chinese authorities were willing to pay money to the family after Mergen died, to sweep it under the carpet instead of finding a solution. Given the many grievances of the southern Mongols, people from all parts of southern Mongolia, including the IMAR and other places, can no longer remain silent to the enormous abuses of their human rights. A region-wide demonstration is planned for May 30. Mongols from the independent part of Mongolia and southern Mongolia, as well as freedom-loving people around the world, are urged to join with the demonstrators of Southern Mongolia in solidarity and condemn the government of China for the brutal killing of Mergen, and to end the egregious violations of human rights of millions of Mongols in Southern Mongolia. Please join us on Monday, May 30, in Asia and Europe, or Sunday, May 29th in North America, at 12 p.m. in front of the Chinese embassy or consulate in the country where you reside, to demand the government of China respect the human rights, life, and dignity of the Mongols in China, and to resolve the case of Mergen in a just and fair manner. We ask you to contact your district representatives in Parliament or Congress to request the government of China to respect the human rights of the Mongols, and to release Hada and his family and all Mongolian political prisoners immediately and unconditionally. This isn't about special rights. It is about basic human rights and dignity that should be accorded every person on the planet. Thanks again for watching this edition of Topics in Southern Mongolian Human Rights.